Popular British researcher Brian Cox issued a frightening warning after NASA's live broadcast of the moon. An unexplained structure on the far side of the moon could be unnatural. This would mean nothing less than that there are extraterrestrial influences on the moon after all. This has now even been supported by AI analysis. Outraged people are demanding a statement from NASA, and we must ask ourselves once again what is really going on the moon. Mid-infrared images from the James Webb Telescope show, for the first time, a structure on the far side of the moon that is 4 to 6 kilometers in size has straight edges and symmetrical shapes. This type of structure is completely atypical for natural lunar geology. But what could it be? The image shows a strong heat signature from an area that is normally completely dark. The unusual discovery has been confirmed by several observations and telescopes operated by ESA and NASA, among others. So the structure is real, and this time, the mysterious data has been released by NASA without censorship. Earlier indications from old missions were treated with more secrecy. The Soviet Lunar 19 mission already recorded a shadow anomaly at exactly the same coordinates in 1974. However, no further information was provided by Soviet researchers at the time. It was not until 2024 that China's Chang'e 5 mission reported a heat spike at the site. But here, too, access to the data was limited. Only the Japanese were more open. Their Selene mission also reported anomalies in the region, and researchers released further data on unexplained radar reflections at the same location. An alien megastructure, rare minerals, or a secret U.S. project. Why are serious scientists like Brian Cox suddenly discussing alien megastructures or artificial structures on the moon? Until now, official sources have always been very secretive when it comes to artificial structures or ancient monuments on the moon. Rectangular contours, central symmetries, and unusual materials could indicate an ancient landing base or something similar. There have been repeated rumors that buildings and structures built by extraterrestrial beings once existed on the moon, which are allegedly even known to the CIA and other secret organizations around the world. Data from the moon has been repeatedly withheld, and even images from probes such as a lunar reconnaissance orbiter are said to have been systematically censored by the Secret Service on NASA itself. There are hardly any other celestial bodies that are the subject of as many rumors about aliens as the moon, followed by Mars, where structures that do not appear to be natural have also been cited. Normally, NASA is very quick to issue a scientifically sound explanation for any strange discoveries, leaving no room for speculation about aliens. But this time, everything is different. Why is that? Are NASA and the U.S. government slowly preparing us for the existence of extraterrestrials? Some UFO enthusiasts believe exactly that, and there's wild speculation about it on the internet. Others believe that the information about the strange artificial-looking structure and the heat radiation from the formation is deliberately released to give alien theorists something to feed on from time to time. Of course, we once again have approaches that favor natural explanations. A team of NASA scientists has issued a statement suggesting that the structure could have been formed by rare minerals and geological influences. Similar structures that are natural but appear artificial can be found on Earth, such as the Giant's Causeway in Ireland and the Yonaguni Monument in Japan. In the case of the lunar structure, high-density or deposits or titanium-rich regolith could form structures with precise angles and flat surfaces. However, what contradicts these theories is the fact that natural occurrences of these types of rock and metal do not produce such a heat signature. The mere fact that an officially scientific explanation that actually makes no sense was issued fueled new rumors. Is the structure part of a secret U.S. project? And are the alien stories just a distraction? Speculation suggests that the structure, which looks like a building, may be a remnant of Project Horizon. This is said to have been a secret U.S. moon base in the 1960s. Many sources claim that the idea was rejected during the planning phase, but others claim that the project was implemented on the far side of the moon. Let's look at another crazy explanation currently being discussed among alien enthusiasts and moon fans. The apparition could not be a material object at all, but rather a dimensional phenomenon. According to this theory, the strange structure is, for example, a projection from another dimension or even a portal to a parallel world that could exist on the moon or in another sector of the universe. Based on string theory, the warm structure could be traces of a brain collision or energy overlaps from different dimensions. An AI analysis has now even found evidence of a Fibonacci spiral within the formation. Although this does not necessarily mean that it is of artificial origin, the numbers and structures of this type of spiral can also be found within every sunflower or pine cone. Mathematicians have matched the most distinctive features of the supposed structure with prime number grids on the surface and found evidence of non-natural origins. However, a possible indication of intelligent coding or message is far from proof that this is actually the case. All in all, despite the uncertain evidence, the AI analysis concluded that there is an extremely low probability that such pattern could have been created by natural processes. NASA faces public demand for a response. The fascinating thing about this discovery is that although the data has been released and the find is being discussed publicly, there are few or no statements about what will happen next. As you have seen, the structure has basically been known since 1974. Further missions have provided clues, but no action has been taken. Ultimately, we will remain in the dark about what this formation really is. There will be discussions until the excitement has died down. To prevent this from happening, space enthusiasts have now launched a public appeal. They are demanding that NASA and other space agencies that have data on the anomaly disclose it without reservation. Russian, Japanese, Chinese, and other researchers must work together to find out what this really is. Targeted missions to the site using probes, or at least further intensive observations with radar probes and spectrometers would also be conceivable. Probes that could drill on site are still pure speculation at present, but could well be conceivable in the future. The moon could soon be inhabited. Imagine a world in which there is regular transport between Earth and cities on the moon. Space shuttles and transporters take off every day, bringing people and goods to the moon and back. This may sound like pure utopia now, but it could soon become reality. The first settlements and space stations will be built on the moon as early as the 2030s. NASA's Artemis project aims to station scientists and a few explorers on the moon first. Settlers could then follow. And NASA want to test how humans can live permanently on another celestial body. The colonization of the moon is considered a precursor to the colonization of Mars. A standard space shuttle today only needs a few days to reach the moon. Exchanges, assistance for settlers and scientists, and the entire construction of infrastructure are much easier to accomplish than on Mars, which is much further away. Now that rare minerals and even a valuable fuel for nuclear fusion have been found on the moon, investment from industry could really drive forward the colonization of the moon. In 20 or 30 years, vacation trips to the moon could be normal. When you visit a travel website, you might see a picture of the moon right next to destinations in the South Pacific or the Orient. Crazy, right? Despite this, it will happen. It's only a matter of time before we humans conquer the moon. The situation is a little different with Mars. The journeys take a very long time, and it's not yet clear whether the human body will even be able to withstand the strain. The conditions on both celestial bodies are very different from those on Earth. Gravity is different. There is no breathable air, no plants, no birds, and the sunlight is completely different. No one currently knows how dependent we humans really are on the conditions on Earth. The moon is far less dangerous, and bringing back or replacing settlers and workers every few months is no problem. Of course, the question remains as to what any aliens on the moon would say if humans suddenly appeared. If we believe the rumors about extraterrestrials on the moon, then they have been there for a long time and are observing humans. They know we are there and most likely also know our settlement plans. Since the same rumor mill also claims that there are aliens on and around Earth, coexistence should not be a problem. The moon is not as small as it seems. Humans and other beings could certainly coexist. Well, sound funny, doesn't it? But that's not how it's supposed to be. Perhaps you've heard stories that Earth's governments have alliances with aliens, and some are already speculating whether this is similar with the colonization of the moon. Another question remains, namely whether we ordinary citizens will ever be privy to the things that are really going on this Earth and in its surroundings. The disclosure of the images surrounding the structure and the publication of the unusual data on heat radiation was seen by some as a first step toward an honest discussion. However, if we assume that governments really do not know about extraterrestrial activities, this interpretation of the data surrounding the mysterious structure would of course be pure madness. The medium Ingo Swann has seen the aliens. If you're interested in stories about the mysteries of the moon and possible life forms there, you have probably heard of Ingo Swann. For those who are not familiar with this scientific medium, I'll explain the background once again. Ingo Swann was a clairvoyant medium who worked with the U.S. government and scientists in the 1960s and 70s. After working officially for several universities and government agencies, Swann was offered by a secret service to perform a psychic viewing of the moon. During this contact, he saw some uninteresting spots on the moon and finally a crater in which he discovered living beings. The species was able to recognize Ingo Swann's psychic eye and proved to be not very friendly. The medium had to remain silent about these events for 15 years. And when he went public, he was dismissed as unbelievable. Swann saw that the beings were mining there. And for a long time, people wondered what could be so interesting on the moon that aliens would mine it. Today we know. After all, we humans now plan to extract helium-3 there ourselves, which we can use to easily solve our energy problems on Earth. Subscribe now for many more exciting videos.